All right, what is up, adventurers, and welcome to a brand new ShawnSetGO video. Today, we're going to be talking about one of those things that happens in WoW, which is, why don't they just do this? I would say it's the why don't they just do blank to blank in some sort of way. It happens a lot because, frankly, a lot of items exist throughout expansions and then further into other expansions, and they're still useful in many different ways, but they sort of go out of use, and then we get new items. It seems like an opportunity there to like fill in a new item, but then you get the new item and the same thing happens where items become outdated, and it's like, why don't we just optimize this and make this better? What I'm meaning specifically, and what I'm talking about specifically, is with mounts and the items that come with mounts. Because I mean, we talked about the Brutosaur and how the Brutosaur changes things and how it's indicative of how people are kind of just whittling away what barriers they need in order to just make a purchase. But this didn't always start this way. Initially, it was convenience added that was desperately needed to a game that had people always having to make like inconvenient trips and back and forth. So it just made this thing that didn't exist before into a thing that now existed, which was having a mount that you can make repairs on, make purchases on, and then further into transmogs and so on and so forth. Having these things was really important for players, especially crafters, people play the auction house, but also just people throughout the game, and especially because these were locked behind like a gold amount. It also had a gold sink feature in there, something for people to spend their gold on. So the problem with that is right here. It says, wouldn't it be great if the food on this mount scaled with level? And it's one of those things that thinking into it, you're like, yeah, like why not? Why not have it to where these things just scale? Because of course there's uses, there's some people who are doing multiple alts. I mean, so you don't want to get rid of what it currently has, but for a lot of people it's like, well, it doesn't make sense to just leave it out entirely. Honestly, more than just scaling with level, I think you should be able to select the drop down, and then depending on what zone you're in, you have that set of items that set of the vendor, like what the vendor has is based off of where you're at. Or to avoid travel, just to select the drop down and select the expansion that you're in or trying to get from, so it's not such a burden. For me, this connected in a different way in that I was doing the Love is in the Air and the Lunar Festival quests. So the Love is in the Air ended up being very intuitive with its travel. The amount of teleports you can do to the areas actually becomes useful in other ways, even for the Lunar Festival, because you're able to get to areas that aren't necessarily convenient to get to now. For the Lunar Festival, I looked and I realized, oh, I need to do some Cataclysm ones. It was so inconvenient to go to those Cataclysm areas because the amount of times you have to go to a person, change it back to the old ways, go into the zone, get it, and then just kind of wash, rinse, repeat in a few of those areas. It became so burdensome to do. And it's not that these things don't exist, they're just not shown well. So I gotta reach back to my memories to go, oh, I talked to this NPC, and then there I can change the time, or I can go here to travel here, because in this expansion, though I can't go do it here, I can do it here. For me, Vashir was totally blocked off because on the current character I'm playing, I didn't do Cataclysm, so it's not currently there. Why? Unless I'm trying to do the quest, just let me go to the area. Don't block it out. It doesn't make a sense to make that happen. So it became super inconvenient. And so just talking about these things that need to be updated, I wanted to look a little bit further into it and look a little bit at the comments. So it says, I wonder how long it takes for Blizzard to realize they could add a trader mount every expansion with level appropriate food for at least 20 euro, and a load of people would buy it. Probably just because the inconveniences of having to do this every expansion, and then, oh, well, I guess this mount is just known for its vendor feature, so I can sell, or its repair feature, so I can repair. So it's kind of unfortunate that that's the case, but honestly, they could. The way it should be, I mean, even this current expansion, the way it should be is that I would love to not have to go to the vendor next to the blacksmith so I can go ahead and get my profession reagents. Like that just let me buy it from the mount. Like what's the huge deal? Not saying I need a crafting table or like an anvil in order to do it, but it would be nice to be able to get those reagents from a certain location. Just because right now it's the way it's set, it's just super inconvenient to do. Let's go look at a little bit further. It says, how about the full all food and water heal for % at this point? I mean, that makes sense. I do understand that perspective. I would say that works for some. I mean, I think that's the way that Halloween food works. Maybe that's okay. Maybe they would take longer. I don't know. I don't have to see what the rates, but I guess that would be okay. But I think the unique item IDs attaching to each expansion is the reason why maybe they don't. People buy food. I played every class and never use non-stat food, and even that only in raids. So do people actually buy food from vendors? I do. Whenever you're doing like organized raids and stuff like that, and you're wanting to not inconvenience healers, you definitely want to be eating food. So yeah, so either you're wasting a ton of gold, have a pocket mage, or you don't play healer that much. Yeah, so it's mostly for healers is the reason why you do want to have regular non-stat food as well. Not only should they add the food from whatever the current expansion is, but they should get rid of the overlapping food and make sure they are all sorted by level. Yeah, I would say sorting by level would be very important. To me, adding additional ones to adding profession reagents for that particular expansion, wherever you're at or whatever you're trying to do. Like if you're a blacksmith, it should have blacksmith reagents. If you're alchemist, have those reagents. That way they're easy enough to buy, just so it's a little bit easier. One thing that I think could be really intuitive is with, say, for this is kind of breaching into auction house a bit, but allowing it to where if you're needing reagents from another, say like an enchanter to get your gilded harbinger crests enchanted, to have those reagents like links to it so you can save what they are without having to kind of like going to separate menus or tracking recipes through additional menus. Just have it to where what you're looking for, you can see it and then like shift click it and then open up your auction house somehow in some way so it translates a little bit easier. I don't know exactly how that would work, but it'd be nice to be able to see what you would need in a sort of, all right, here's the image. I can shift click it instead of having to go back and forth, or the whole track recipe feature, which half the time when I click it, it doesn't add it to my list. So it's kind of frustrating because I think if you have one thing pending, it's like it won't allow you to add more. It's weird. Let's see. Would it be great if you could pocket the money earned from repair vendor on this mount? Maybe for all repairs that other people do on your mount, like you get a percentage. That would be kind of cool. A little bit. I imagine everyone has at least one. That'd be kind of cool. Though I don't think they would do it because I think Blizzard wants more things to get WoW out of the economy versus cycling hands. Cycling hands doesn't improve the economy. What does is natural ways for goals to get out of the economy and go straight to Blizzard. The token is not that way because still it's just a changing of hands. It's not improving inflation as it were in WoW. You want things to go out naturally through used to be like mounts and training. So now that that's not the case really, it's good to have those things to cycle out money just naturally. It would be, but since follower dungeons are out, I just pop in there and grab a stack of mage food before I head out for stuff. Why is it the way bottom of the comments? Everyone talks about how they want to just get some food, yet with follower dungeons, it's easier than ever. I don't do follower dungeons enough to really know, but it's not that it's hard to get food. It's just that you have a mount that effectively what you can get from it is not usable. So why not just put stuff in there that's usable? It just makes sense. It just makes sense. Or like other people were saying, allow it to where you have a mount each time. Update those mounts each expansion, so you have one that gives you the proper level of food for that expansion. I guess, you know, it's not too difficult to think of. Percentage based food. Your solution would just make foods that don't give buffs and add percent of HP. A lot of people are saying that, so I gotta imagine that's the way it should be done. I do like the unique foods. I do think that does add a little bit of flair to the game, a little bit of flavor. I don't mind them being different foods as long as it's sorted and easy to access, etc. But sometimes it is a bit of a pain. Biggest wish for WoW are mounts like these. On a mount, you have a transmog and a vendor, right? You can move the points. I don't know of a better word around. You can remove them. Same thing with Brontosaurus. They have different items. Why can't you take that point from the Brontosaurus and put it in your yak? Those should be able to, right? Let's take this further. Let's say this could come out with a green version of the yak and put on a different vendor, like a profession vendor for the War Within and Dornagal food drink vendor, not a cash mount, rep earned mount. You drag that to your Brontosaurus because really, who wants a green yak? Now your Brontosaurus has the War Within profession vendor. I see what it's saying, kind of being able to customize your vendors in a bit of a way. I would say something that would work with that idea is if you could basically customize what your vendors have. So you could customize it to have reagents for alchemists, reagents for cooks, etc., etc. That would be kind of cool. I could see that being a thing where you can customize those a bit to where what they have is still limited, but has a specific set of things that you want, or maybe that you want to provide to your guild. So it's easier for people to get those things. Unfortunately, I would say one of the unfortunate things about WoW right now, though, is outside of your reputation vendors, there's not a whole lot of useful vendors in that way. Like, you don't open up a vendor hoping for like a rare item that's not often there. It's usually just very common items that you use in crafting, so you're already in a city anyways when you're doing that kind of stuff. So I would say vendors need to become useful again before I would be fully behind an idea like that. But I definitely understand what they're coming from. That's an awesome idea. The Wrath Mount could use that too. I wish they would be an upgrade noodle. Noodle cart every expansion could lure people back to Mist content and get the recipe. Yeah, I think that's true as well. I think that whenever you have useful vendors, people kind of get introduced to content naturally, where they see it in game and they go, where'd you get that from? So I think making vendors to where you can have those useful items again, or simply have rotating items, even rotating random items from the cart, so you can kind of encourage people to interact with each other, and also have it to where people can be introduced to old content, because now it's like, oh wow, you got that recipe in your vendor on your mount. Where did you get that from? And then people want to see more of it. You know, people want to see what happens with it. So with the addition of things like housing, I can't imagine people wouldn't be excited by customization to this level, because more customization just means people get interested in it, people get envious of it, and people want to have it as well. So I can't see why they wouldn't do something like this. Maybe it's a limitation of the game, but I think it's definitely a win-win, just to make it, at least make these updated, maybe make these customizable to a degree, and then third, make it to where these things can revitalize old content and also introduce ways that people can come together and interact with others that maybe they wouldn't normally interact with. It only makes sense to me. So that's my thoughts on that. I mean, let me know in the comments what you think about the status of mounts and what they have. What do you think they should have that they don't? What do you think they should do to improve mounts in the way they look, without saying like I want a profession vendor here, I want to or a profession trainer here, I want my anvil here. We're not thinking of adding things. I mean, they probably will at some point, and then probably monetize it in some sort of way. But I think at the very least, they could just be more useful instead of just being repair buttons or transmog buttons. So I think there's more that can be done with it. But let me know in the comments, of course. And then before I end this one, I wanted to talk about this a bit, because it was a meme that went further and further and got more and more hilarious. So the first Reddit post that came up was this one, and it says, finally it dropped. They got the Heartbreaker, and they took a picture of their screen with their phone. It's like, what? And like didn't print screen it, but instead seemingly took maybe like another picture of their phone taking a picture. Maybe it was to zoom it in. I really, my mind's blown here. It's so, everyone This person screenshotted it. Guys, I got it. More layers than an onion or ogre on this one. If only this community allowed image responses, that'd be sublime. This is why the tree burned. The anarchy continues. This person took a tablet photo. It took a picture of the tablet. The anarchy continues. This is peak absurdity. After the original post, I thought to myself, this is going to snowball into a trend. It definitely did. And then even further, sorry guys, bad quality, can't see anything, but I think another layer of tablet or phone will make the picture more clear. And then this person going further, the laptop to the tablet to the phone to the screen, the print screen. This trend is adorable. I love you guys. And then this one, the color printer says, is your printer telling you that you're out of cyan? Yeah, it looks like it's bleeding out there. You need to clean it out, I think. That's bad. This one, it's a wallet photo. Pretty soon it's just gonna be Legends on cave walls. Everyone's gonna like be wondering, like, where did this start? Why did this get so big? This trend is bringing me life. This the in dash. Oh my gosh. With all the layers too. The speed at which people are adding these is hilarious. We must go deeper. More. I need more. This is the Mona Lisa. Everyone has it on their phones too. On the watch as well. Have we had a theater employer throw it up on the big screen and take a photo yet? Ooh, that's gonna be a new one, I bet. It finally dropped. On the screen and it's down the hall. Oh man, feet pics for free in this economy. It finally dropped. The phone is shattered. And then here's the best one. Blizzard themselves, the official World of Warcraft, says it finally dropped. And it says the paper looks real. Did you go and do it? And then, but of course, once we figured out how to use the office printer. The photo here, man, there it is. This is peak. This is peak WoW right here. Absolutely, you gotta love it when the community comes together on something like this. It's beautiful. With that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe to the page while you're at it, and of course, be safe out there. Tyler won in his raid, just passed, unfortunately. So. Cheers and good luck to those of you who lived, and great wishes to those of you who passed. Hopefully they continue on their journey and keep on going. We got to see the Blackwing layer, and it's been a lot of fun to watch as a content creator and cover as a content creator. So it's been a lot of fun. But stay safe out there, those classic WoW players, as well as for retail players. Just fill those vaults. You know, keep trucking. Stay encouraged. You know, if the content is coming, it's a little bit on the low end. It's a little on the slower end, but it's kind of in the casual, like slow mode. It's nothing's too bad. It's just we're waiting on new content for the most part. So until next time, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.